What to do when your boss just doesn't like you. Now, in our last video that we dropped on our Success Mondays, we talked about how to survive a bad boss. These kind of go together, but they can be very different. You might actually have a good boss who just doesn't like you, and that just eats you alive. And you'd really like your boss to like you, right? You're around this person a whole lot. It's difficult to be around someone who you know just doesn't like you. So how do you crack that code? How do you get in there and soften the relationship? You might not end up being best friends, but doesn't a softened relationship sound really good about right now if you're dealing with this problem? Well, I'm going to give you my top 5 ways to soften the relationship a little bit and help to forge a path for positive work relationships without so much nastiness or animosity. So if that sounds good to you, stick around because that's what you are getting today.
GILD Coaching. More success, less stress.
So your boss doesn't like you. Well, guess what? About 10% of the population of the world isn't going to like you just based on chemistry. You just don't go together. You've met those people that you think, those are nice people, or that's a nice person, or whatever. They just don't do it for me, right? It's what causes cliques, it's what causes really good friendships, and it's what makes you know someone for a long time and just stay acquaintances with them. Some people just aren't going to go with you like peanut butter and jelly. So what do you do when that person is your boss and that person just doesn't like you? You want to have positive working relationships, and you don't want to have any of that tension and stress in the workplace. Life is hard enough, so let's just get rid of it. Okay, so today what I'm giving you is my top 5 things that you can implement right now to soften the relationship a little bit more. I'm not promising that you're going to be best friends with your boss, or if you have another coworker who your boss really is good friends with and you think, why does that person get the attention and it's not me? I'm not saying that it's going to fix all that, but it can soften things a little bit. Take the rigidity off and make it not quite so heart-wrenching. So the first thing is, usually when someone just doesn't like you and you know it and you can feel it, you try to avoid them. But that is the number one thing to not do. So I want you to write that down in your notes, or if you're not taking notes, you should always take notes. Just go ahead and open up the comments section on this video and write, I shouldn't avoid my boss. Don't avoid your boss. I'm not saying go out of your way to get in front of his or her face. That may end up annoying the person, but don't avoid the person. Don't try to hide from them. When you try to hide from them, it can actually make everything worse, because when they do need you, they have to go hunting for you, and they're hunting for something that they don't really like. You see how this isn't the right path to softening? That just creates more rigidity, more stress, more anxiety around the situation by increasing irritation. So don't avoid the person. The second thing is that I want you to write down kindness, just the word kindness. If we would just, if there was just a kindness pill that we could swallow to make us exude that feeling of just being friendly and just being kind, would really, really help things. So when you're dealing with this person, before you have an interaction, even if this person's abrasive to you, breathe, not in a sigh way, like, so that they think that you're sighing at them all the time or that you're put out with them. But take deep cleansing breaths and breathe in kindness, breathe out tension, and then with that sort of a feeling, interact with this person. Say hi to them, not in kind of an annoying way. You don't have to go hunting for them to be like, hey, how was your weekend? Or, whatever, but say hello and be kind. Be kind to them in the same way that you would want to offer kindness to someone who has been hurt or someone who's going through a hard time. Because when you're interacting with someone who just doesn't like you, you don't know the reason that they don't like you. You might think you do, but you don't know the whole reason that they don't like you. There could be something that reminds them of something or someone or another time in their life that they're not even consciously aware of. It could be some sort of subconscious pre-programming that they are living out, and you are on the receiving end of that unfortunate or unhappy or unwanted memory or pattern. So be kind to them, because everybody is going through something. That's something else to write down under the kindness category. Everybody is going through something, so you can't possibly hurt if you lead with kindness. One of the biggest frustrations that I hear from my executive clients who are bosses and managers is that employees are not prompt. Now, I'm not a clock watcher by any means. I do try to be on time. I believe being early is on time and being on time is late. So I'm always, the 5-minute early person. Even when I'm waiting for a client session, I make my best effort to be there 5 minutes early and just prepare myself. So that, knowing that that's a major complaint across the board with different managers and bosses in different industries, the perception is that the employee is not invested, that the employee doesn't care, and that can create an animosity there. So do yourself a favor, set your alarm clock 5 minutes earlier, 10 minutes earlier, and don't necessarily be a clock watcher. Come in, do your job, be kind, make sure that you're accessible. That's everything that we've gone over so far. And come in just a couple minutes early. I'm not asking you to give a ton of your time that you're not being compensated for, but don't, keep your eye on the clock, and you know that your shift ends at 4, you know that your shift ends at 5 and it's 4:59 and you're like, bing, come in a couple minutes early so that you're ready to begin work. It's like when you go to the movie theater. You don't have to go before all the previews and sit through everything, but that the previews start at a certain time, and you want to get there at least during that time so that you're ready to invest when the movie starts. Do that with work. Be ready to invest when the movie starts. And when the movie's over, don't be like, oh, that was the last line. Pew! Slowly collect your things. Make sure that you're closing out all of your emotional attachment to things at work, and leave it there, and then you can leave. So that'll make it easier for you to come in a little bit early and stay a little bit after the moment that you are free. I also say with people who are having tough relationships with their bosses, be there before he or she is there and be there after he or she is gone. It can just be 60 seconds before and 60 seconds after, but it'll mean a whole lot more for you if they see your vehicle there as they're approaching and they see your vehicle there as they're leaving. They'll see that you're invested. Don't ever, 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 this is number 4, write this in the comments or in your notes. Don't ever, no matter what happens, badmouth your boss to anyone ever. It will come back to bite you in some way, even if it's only energetically. When you speak ugliness or unkindness, even if other people are speaking it and you give them like the don't I know it, look, that is a communication that brings you down into that level. Never, ever, ever take part in anything like that. It doesn't do anything good for you. It might feel good in that moment if that person has been making your life hard, but it's kind of like, if you cheat on a diet and you're like, oh, why did I eat that chocolate cake? You'll feel bad about it later. It doesn't do good things for yourself energetically. So just like you want to put good food into your body for health, put good energy into your body when it comes especially to people who are tough to deal with, because you already have enough negativity around them in the first place. Don't add to it by participating in negative comments and things of that nature. If there is something that you need to blow off, do it in a healthy way, like go for a run, work out, go for a long walk, journal about it just to kind of get it out, and then bless that and send it out so that there's always some positivity wrapped around it. It kind of goes back to that kindness point. And number 5, this is so very important. It is fine to compliment someone who doesn't like you, but make sure that it's genuine. Look for genuine compliments that you can give, not like every day, ooh, nice shoes, nice tie, nice hat, nice hair, like your car, saw that you washed it, things like that. No. Look for genuine compliments. When your boss does or says something that's great, say, wow, I really appreciate that, or that's fantastic. Or the next day you can say, hey, Ted, yesterday in the meeting, you said this thing, and I just want to let you know, I've been thinking about it. It really landed for me. And so I just wanted to say thanks for that. Just little bitty things, tiny little things can really make a difference. And if you're not good at that, you can pre-plan it. And this is a tool that I use with my husband. And if he's watching, sorry, honey, but all of those impulsive, like little I love you texts and messages and things, I plan that ahead of time. I've got recurring reminders that are in my phone that I know that means a whole lot to my husband to get affirming messages. It's one of his love languages. And so I schedule it because I get really focused in on work and really invested with my clients, and I can forget that relationship is ongoing. I need to cultivate it all the time. So if you're bad at that, build a booby trap into your life for yourself, like I do, and set reminders. Hey, find something to compliment Marsha on, because you probably haven't done it in 2 weeks. So set little reminders for yourself. All right, those are your 5 things. Make sure that you have them written down in your notes. If you missed anything, you can always rewind this and go again, and make sure you leave us comments with questions or just thoughts or ideas or any of your experiences. We'd love to hear about that. Make sure that you give us a thumbs up so we know that you're liking our content, and subscribe. Hit that little bell so you know the next time that we drop a video to help you live a life with lower stress and more success. See you next time.